Hello from the Mavens. We wanted to share some thoughts from the Mavens with you today. Joining us, I have Veronica, Sandra Canales, and myself, Jessi Harris.
We are talking about inventory and why it's such a pain for our Shopify seller clients to track inventory. We know that it's a pain point for a lot of our clients, a lot of the prospective clients that we talk to, and just wanted to chat about our thoughts from the Mavens about tracking inventory and why it's such a pain.
What are some of the ways that we see people tracking Shopify inventory for bookkeeping?
Usually they start with a spreadsheet, which is great. Eventually, the goal is for them to be big enough to need an inventory software.
Yeah. So even when they're using spreadsheets, we have to then help our clients to track additional things because that's what we need to track on our end. What about tracking inventory in Shopify?
We notice that they can have negative quantities. So if the client's not actively checking for that, that will cause an inaccurate balance when you run that report. You can't go back and change historical data. So it's like very limited in that way if you have to make lots of changes.
Jessi, we've talked about spreadsheets being a good starting point for smaller sellers. Would Shopify inventory also be a good fit for a smaller seller?
I think that it would be a better fit for a smaller seller, that they would be able to track inventory in Shopify and maybe a combination with spreadsheet.
Yeah, with limitations. And Sandra, do we have clients that are doing the updating themselves, or do some of them have contractors?
So some clients, if they're able to just get the information and they're timely, they do it themselves or they have someone else do it from their team. And sometimes they do outsource it to a contractor who is able to provide that.
Well, what are some other ways that we're seeing Shopify sellers tracking their inventory? Do they track it in QuickBooks Online, for example?
QuickBooks inventory is very limited in functionality and is not designed to track inventory for e-commerce businesses.
That's right. Well, I wanted to address just one more pain point that we do hear a lot from prospects. We've heard a lot that they are having trouble finding a bookkeeper who can properly record their inventory in QuickBooks and fix their inventory problems that they're seeing. And they're wondering why their bookkeeper isn't able to solve the problems that they're having. What would you say to them?
Tracking inventory cost of goods sold is a pain for the bookkeepers as well, but ultimately it has to start with the business owner, with the Shopify seller. Again, what is your goal? And so it could be any number of reasons. We as bookkeepers, we can be part of the solution, but we can't fix the problem because we're not inventory consultants. Again, I think being part of the solution, and I think have realistic expectations for as a business owner of what QuickBooks can do, what can Shopify do, what can your spreadsheet do versus what can an inventory management system do, and even what can they do as the owner of the business.
Great. Well, it was great having this conversation, and we will do it again soon on a different topic. For those watching, make sure to leave us a comment if there's an inventory struggle or pain point that you'd like to hear us address in the future. Until then, happy selling, and we'll see you next time.